Morning, folks. Another beautiful day. It's an astounding 38 degrees here in the parking lot, and that's Fahrenheit for you folks who don't know it. Um, a nice chilly fall day. I love it because fall actually came this year. Okay, it's oh my God! Oh, I feel bad. I just gave everyone a zoom. What do you call it? A vision of my crotch they shouldn't see. But oh well. Um, I dropped my phone. Okay, if some of you, I hope you enjoyed last night's live stream. I just couldn't sit there and be quiet. All it was, the actual scene was not available. You know, the BBC have learned from their mistakes. But I'm loving the fact that, anything and everything's a leak. If I had seen iTunes' thumbnail, okay, otherwise, I wouldn't have said a word about it. Because it's not news. It's not really worth your time. What made it worth your time and mine to talk about it, because normally I don't do live streams that late, in the evening, because I was really bushed yesterday. I don't know why on Mondays it's really hit me like a brick. But the fact of the matter is, you had all these folks out there jumping up and down screaming about a leak that wasn't. Yeah, I've been telling you for last, few months that everything I heard, it was going to be a cliffside regeneration. It was going to be near a cliff's edge. And sure enough, that's come to pass. And I want to thank the people, who told me about that. Because I really don't consider the location to be a major spoiler. We don't know where that cliff is. You see, we don't know, if that is actually Gallifrey, which is a lot of speculation out there, that it's Gallifrey that's been Cybermen taken over or whatever. It's been cyberized. But I noticed somebody came to the channel last night and left a comment because they didn't like the fact they got all butthurt because Dr. Freedom, took them to the woodshed, so to speak. And I'm sitting there reading this paragraph long rant. And you see, now apparently I'm supposed to feel guilty because they use the classic term, I've been watching your channel for blah, blah. Now, really? How many times have you commented on this channel? I'm like, how many times have you even, shown up for a chat or a live chat? Have you even subscribed? And I'm like, they always do that to try to make you feel butthurt, because you called out reality. Reality and truth is the one thing that nobody wants to face anymore. I know, they got caught with their pants down. That's the comment I'm referring to. I'm like, really? You've been watching this channel for years. They always say that when they want to make you feel guilty. And it's like, really? Were you even a subscriber? Did you actually ever, participate in the comment box? Did you ever once show up for a live chat and comment? No. So I'm supposed to feel guilty about that. Well, sorry, but you did it. It's right there that you did it along with the other ones. It's not like you guys don't get, 20, 30,000 views or whatever, or tens of thousands of views for a video. But now you're clickbaiting. And I'm like, it's like, sorry. It's like, yeah, I'm sorry I don't have the Fabian hairdo. I'm sorry I don't put on makeup or whatever and set up studio lighting just for a video. I know they're trying to make it sound like there was this big reveal because they know we're on the week leading up to it and everybody's really, really looking forward. And, even though they say, oh, I don't want to be spoiled, you can't reserve, you can't, sometimes curiosity just overwhelms you, and they know you're going to click on it to find out if, you know, if there was anything more to it. Well, no, they won't take them down for copyright because, you know, like I said, it was just a thumbnail. There was no actual video to click on. If there'd been an actual video to click on, they would have already saved it, and they'd have had it up there showing clips of it or whatever on their channel. And by the way, they would have probably been allowed to do it because they have the big viewers, and that's the demographic they're aiming at. Meanwhile, this old fart, you know, puts up a legitimate news clip. Like, I'll never forget when Berriman, this was back before the 50th anniversary special, they were, he was talking about whether or not he was going to appear in that special, and then all of a sudden, you know, you see him clam up. And I put that clip up, and I discussed that clip and said, look at his reaction and all that and blah, blah, blah to this. That video was immediately copyright struck by the BBC. And then when I disputed it, they said that wasn't fair use. And I'm like, that's the very definition of fair use. And if you watch the clip, I even had right there, this was from such and such a show that was aired such and such a date. And then I discussed about what was in that clip, which is the very definition of fair use. It's news. It's info and it's commentary. Unlike, you've got all these reaction mashup channels now, where they're taking other people's videos and making them into one big one and making a stack of money off it. And it's like, wait a minute, I thought there was a thing in the YouTube guidelines that you couldn't use other people's videos or material with it, you know, even with, you know, even if you can prove they have their, you know, their permission, it's a pain in the butt. Like, I had somebody I had podcasted with years ago, you know, because they got butthurt because they got caught with their pants down, for various reasons. So they started making it a point to go back and put little things on their videos where they appeared. That's why all the first 100 Omega files are gone forever. I took them down. Yeah, but I'm just like, the guilt trip factor. I'm like, well, I've been watching your videos for years. I'm like, funny, you've never mentioned me. You've never subscribed, as far as I can tell. I'll have to go back and look again. You've never chatted. You've never commented before. It's like, you know, what happened? Were you slumming it this week? Oh. You see, that's another thing I can't stand. I've had people volunteer to send me things before, and I said, okay then, because I usually don't hand out my address to anybody. You'll notice that, like, there's big reaction channels and things like that now where they have their P.O. box listed. Let me say that they go out and they get a post office box for people to send them gifts. And I'm like, I don't do that. Now, if someone goes, look, you know, I'd like to send you something, okay, I don't mind, but I'm not going to go actively looking for freebies. You know, I've had a lot of people give me a lot of great gifts, and they're all greatly appreciated, but I won't actively go out and say, well, you should send me gifts. Oh, you've got to be kidding. He has a P.O. box too? Because I've noticed that on a lot of channels out there. It's like, so let me get this straight. You've got to get a membership for certain videos. Then you have your Patreon exclusives, and then you have where people are sending you money to be on your Patreon. And people don't ever ask where that money goes. There was a channel out there, I won't name it, but they suddenly came to an end of their daily, they had a channel where they showed their event, then they had a channel where they did their daily like life stuff, and that channel with the daily life stuff suddenly ended. Turns out they were living out in a certain state where the cost of living makes this state look like a paradise. because it was like, and yet they are trying to tell their Patreon members they weren't using their member money to live there. They did not have a job, and they got caught. Now, it's like, folks, they aren't sending you money, because they're sending you money because they want you to use it for your channel, allegedly. And I'm sorry, but that's the impression I got. Well, I'm stopping my daily live vlog channel because they revealed that they had moved to an area that cost you an arm and a leg for a one-bedroom apartment. All of a sudden, they have no job outside of YouTube. And trust me, I know all about. Let me give you an example about how bad it is in some areas out there in the United States. There's already been artwork and all that up, I believe, for the steel books. Just go take a look around. Check maybe Amazon. I'll have to get some more info on that. Like I said, I'm on the phone right now, so talking to you guys. Okay, thanks for answering that. Because like I said, I'm on. Yeah, like I said, I can't really look things up when I'm doing a live stream. I had a teacher back in high school. No, not high school. It was college. Mr. Paul. I'll never forget this guy, because here's a guy who's one of them classic examples of he looked like he was 30 years old, but he was actually like 50 plus. One of them guys who ages like a vampire, And he used to work at Berkeley. He worked for NASA. He worked all that stuff. Matter of fact, like I said, he knew the guy who flew. For those of you old enough to remember the $6 Million Man, the opening bit at the beginning with, the plane coming down and crashing, and they show that's how Steve Austin got injured. He knew the guy who actually flew that mission that's on that video. He goes, it's funny because the guy who actually flew that mission walked out of that wreck with a few bumps and bruises and not a single broken bone. And we say, wow, you made Steve Austin look like a wuss. But okay, but just to get to the point, when he was living in California, all right, when he was teaching at Berkeley and all that stuff, he moved to Ohio because even though he's making a third of what he was making in California, he was making more living here because of the cost of living out there. Yep. So just to give you an idea. Yeah, Death in Paradise I have not seen in a long time. I think I kind of tuned out after Chris Marshall left. I got to get back to that. And then, Danny John Jules left, and seemed like everybody left that show at one point or another. They were down to like maybe 2 characters who've been around since the beginning. It's kind of like NCIS is these days. I think there's like maybe 1 character left that's been around since towards the beginning. Maybe 2. Well, then again, there's Ducky. He still makes the occasional appearances. But yep, Mark Harmon's gone. He wanted to spend some time off the show because he's still one of the executive producers, and it's kind of like when Abby left, Paulie Perrette. Everybody starts heading for the door. Yeah, we still watch NCIS. It's still a good show. I'm not going to complain. The only big spin-off of it I liked was New Orleans, and then they ended that for some reason, yet Los Angeles, which sucks ass, is still on. I think mainly because Scott Bakula wanted to take it easy myself. Okay, but oh god, he's supposed to be talking about Doctor Who. What's he talking about? All right, so once again, before I go, let's get over this. Let's go over it. They got a thumbnail off iTunes. Okay? Oh, okay, the actress who played Jackie Tyler, that's Camille Coduri. And if you haven't seen her in King Ralph, damn, she was a hottie back then. Oh yeah, Cody De Pablo, who played Ziva. Yeah, she recently reappeared. That was like a year or two ago. And of course, they won't have Michael Weatherly back so they could do the reunion, because Michael Weatherly got in some trouble on his other show apparently. But okay, back off NCIS. What are we doing? All right, let's wrap up before I go, okay? Let's get back to Doctor Who for a minute. There was no regeneration scene leaked, okay? It was a thumbnail off an iTunes page. And all it shows is Jodie beginning to regenerate. There's the TARDIS, there's a cliffside. And it could be that thumbnail was even made. All right, it could be a clip of that scene, just an image, but it could have also been made for that scene, just for a thumbnail. That's all it was. It was a thumbnail, and they were making it sound like the whole thing had leaked. So that's why I came online last night live and talked about it, because I'm like, this is ridiculous. They're making a mountain literally out of a molehill, all right? So once again, be very, very careful who has leak or a spoiler. Yeah, it could have been fake too, because we've been talking about the cliffside regeneration for almost a year now. But that's why I went off on it. I'm like, this is not news. This is clickbait. That's all it was. It was clickbait. Power of the Doctor is BBC One's going to be airing it at 7:30, which is 2:30 Eastern Time. It's not simulcasting on BBC America. It's simulcasting, I know, on TV New Zealand. And this is making scheduling, because I wanted to do a live Omega Files. But the problem is a lot of the cast members are not going to be able to see it that day. So that's why I haven't announced a time for it, because I got to sit down with everybody this weekend and say, look, what are we going to do? Because I really didn't want to do it on the following weekend, but we may do that anyway. All right, I got to get going because I am overdue to get my butt towards the door. So, okay, I'll see y'all tomorrow's. Take care, everybody. Be kind, be calm, be safe, but above everything else, please be kind today. Enjoy your Tuesday, and we'll see y'all hopefully in the future. All right, take care, everybody.